creative block or writer's block, how foul of a beast that it is. It's like, you know, your entire life you're using like art, you're using being creative as a coping mechanism, as an escape. And then the very method that you use to like escape and that you use to get out is blocked, you know? I've been experiencing it for maybe the last half year, and it's just terrible, man. Like you just knock yourself out of the creative process, and even when you do get in the creative process, it's like the analytical mind takes over, you know? It's like perfectionism or judgment or limiting, whatever you want to call it. It's like the analytical part of you is, you know, taking over the creative process. It's kind of what I wanted to talk about. So, what exactly is creative block? I think, to me, I think creative block is kind of, you could think of it as there's like two modes, you know, there's two modes of thought. There's your creative mind, which is, you know, very expressive. It's the predominant mind when you get into that creative flow where you're, you know, just get lost within what you're making. And then creative block is when, you know, your analytical mind takes over a little bit and you start to judge and categorize and kind of linearize whatever you're working on. And why that's important is because creativity is not linear. I think creativity is kind of innately something special, you know, within the human experience. It's like there's something innately progressive, innately challenging to, you know, this kind of modern dilemma of, you know, looks maxing, self-progression, kind of linear steps, do X, Y, and Z every day, and, you know, be the best person you could be and optimize and all this kind of linear robotic thinking, you know, trying to optimize the human experience. And I think creativity is kind of like a direct challenge to that. Creativity is saying like, okay, I'm not going to, you know, give in to the idea that something has to be a particular way. You know, I don't have to give in to the idea that there are these binaries, that there's these dualities, that there are right and wrongs, that there are like, this is how I live my best life, part 1, section 2, part 3. So, I think for me, what's helped in this pursuit is like being able to kind of separate these two modes of thought, you know, this linear thought, and then this creative thought. And being able to resist judgment and categorization. Sometimes when I'm writing music, I'm like, damn, like I'm just copying this, or like I'm just making what's already been made before, and you know, it's never a good feeling. So I think what has helped me is to kind of categorize the analytical mind there and put it into a separate box, and then during the creative process, just being able to allow yourself to poke and prod around. It kind of reminds me of a David Bowie quote, which I'm just going to paraphrase. And he was like, the best work is made when you're kind of getting deep into the water, you know, when you're just a little bit uncomfortable. And that's when the best creative work, the best artistic work is made, when you're just in a little bit of a space of uncomfortability. And I think especially when, at least for me, because I'm trying to do music, there's an expectation, to how a particular project could be. I think about songs in like the format of an album, and I'm like, wait, I can't be doing this kind of music and this kind of music at the same time, or kind of categorizing like, oh, this is this genre, this is this genre, and like the idea that those aren't compatible, or that I should be trying to make a different kind of genre of music to fulfill a particular desire, to fulfill a particular niche, or etc., etc. I think those are all kind of just constituents that you add on to kind of diminish the creative flow. And I think the key point is that the creative process is something kind of special, It's something kind of holy to me. And what happens once we, use our Gutenbergian analytical mind, is it kind of ruins that otherness that, a piece of work possesses. Like when you're listening to music or looking at a painting, and you just see something past the form, you see something past the content of whatever it is, and you could just feel like the raw presence that was kind of like invoked into that piece. And I think what happens when you have this analytical mind of this is the music I want to make, or this is the form I want to take, as much as it's a great idea, as much as it seems like, oh, I'm going to make something new, ultimately it's kind of restrictive, and in a perfect world we could all just make art and make, and be creative without all of these other restrictions of like, making money, or in some kind of utopia where we could all thrive. But unfortunately, that's not the earth. Peter Griffin once said, hey, it's the world. So even though we can't get in that utopia, we can get kind of close. And I think that's what happens when we kind of compartmentalize our analytical mind a little bit, and be able to try to allow ourselves to beat this creative block. All right, thank you.